Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kim, aka the Booker Harlot, because I love all things Booker Prize related. Now, when you see this, the Booker winner announcement will be about 2 weeks and 2 days away. So we are getting really, really close to the announcement. So for this vlog, I'm going to read the last book for me on the shortlist, and that's Prophet Song by Paul Lynch, who is a new to me author. And let me just show you how absolutely gorgeous this book is. Not only the front, but the end papers as well. So I am going to get reading, and while I am reading, I will leave you with some of my favorite things and life on the lake in Canada. See you shortly. So I just filmed the end of the year book tag, and one of the questions was, do you think that any of the books that you have planned to read between now and the end of the year will shock you? And what I said was, no, I don't think any of these books will shock me. But what I meant to say, and I will link the video in the description box below, what I meant to say was, I don't think, I wouldn't be surprised if any of these books uh, surprised me or shocked me into becoming one of my top 10 books of 2023. And Prophet Song is such an amazing book, and this is absolutely shocking to me. So I am more than halfway through, and it is so suspenseful and so thrilling and so engaging that I actually had to force myself continuing on this book and film this little video because it is that good. I could have just finished it all off in one go. So let's talk a little bit about the book. This is set in dystopian Ireland, specifically in Dublin. I highly suspect it is around modern times because there are cell phones and emails. It centers around Eilish, who is a mother who is married to Larry. They have 4 kids. Ben is a baby. Molly and Bailey and Bailey is their son, are probably early tweens. And then there is Mark, their eldest child, who is 17, turning 18. Now, during this time, a totalitarian government has taken over and suspended civil rights, essentially, and evoked emergency measures. And Larry, her husband, is a trade unionist as his job, and he is targeted by the government. And this is no spoilers, but I think if you read the blurb, you'll know that Larry very shortly into this book disappears. And it is about what Eilish will do to protect her family as society starts to crumble. Now, in terms of structure, this is told in 9 chapters. The prose is these very long paragraphs, and it is beautifully written. The timeline so far, and I'm 7 chapters in, it takes place over a year. It is told in the third person from Eilish's perspective. The themes are very, very timely in terms of the current state of the world. It is about civil war. It is about a mother and her very young children trying to navigate a new life. And there is a lot of denial in the first part of it. And then a very interesting turn happens in which with Mark, but I won't give that away. Um, and this book is very reminiscent to me that if you liked The Birthday Party by Laurent Mauvignier, translated by Danielle Levine Becker, which I love, and Black Butterflies by Priscilla Morris, this book very much seems to me that if you put these two books together, you would result with Prophet Lane. And I see why everybody is raving about this book. I have not read or watched a review in which people did not like this book. So I am going to continue on reading, and I will get back to you when I'm done. And in the meantime, I will leave you with some of my favorite things. I have finished reading Prophet Song by Paul Lynch. And I forgot to mention a little bit about the plot in the last clip, that this is also about Elise managing her ailing father, who seems to be suffering from some form of dementia or Alzheimer's. He is in decline, he's living on his own, and it is not safe for him. When she goes to visit him, she has flashbacks to her childhood, which is a really interesting thing to do because her flashbacks to her own childhood are such an exact opposite to um, the lives of her own children. So I thought that was very interestingly done. There is quite a lot of elevated vocabulary in this book, like Study for Obedience by Sarah Bernstein, which is also on the Booker shortlist. I had to look up a lot of vocabulary, which it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is absolutely beautifully written. Uh, there are one of the predominant themes is nature, and Paul really uses the theme of nature to evoke Elisha's emotions when she can't express them to herself. There is an amazing theme of the color, if you can call white a color, but it's woven through the narrative in a wonderful way. So at the beginning of the novel and throughout, the kids hang white ribbons off of the tree outside to symbolize each ribbon symbolizes 1 week of their father's disappearance. And because this takes place over the course of the year, this continues over and over again. And interesting enough, white is the symbol of the rebels, so the side that Eilish and her family are on. And there is a stunning scene, and I don't think this is much of a spoiler because it happens quite early in the novel, in which Eilish goes to a wedding, and of course you picture wedding as white. And there is this moment where everybody stands to their feet except for Eilish, and they sing the song of the regime. And there is a moment in which the bride, who of course all dressed in white, is closing her eyes and singing this song. And in the middle of the song, Eilish reaches out and she pulls out a white ribbon or a piece of white fabric from her purse and ties it around her neck. And I thought that was so beautifully done. So let me read to you a little bit about the nature and white. So, summer nights in the garden, the rust and scald of the fire pit in ashes before her. She closes her eyes, seeing Larry pour wine into a glass, and when she opens her eyes, the tree is hung with grief, the ribbons on the breeze rising like pointed fingers, whispering for her to go. And throughout the novel, this is just so well done. An interesting thing is that throughout this book, I couldn't figure out why it was called Prophet Song. I kept looking for it and looking for it and looking for it. It is in the last few pages of the book, which I won't give away, but I have to tell you, it's so beautifully written that I think I stopped and reread it about 3 or 4 times. So, what an amazing read. Now, this title does go to very, very dark places. So, if you are triggered by the wars that are sadly going on in the world right now, or child abuse, or death in general, this is not the book for you. Now, having finished it, this definitely reminds me of the birthday party in which I brought up in the clip below. Now, the reason why it reminds me of the birthday party is because the suspense is so well done, and also the birthday party has long, meandering paragraphs as its prose. This takes place over 4 days, whereas Prophet Song takes place over a year. It also reminds me of Black Butterflies because of the depiction of civil war and the toll that it can take on mothers, on adults, on wives, and on children. So that is my thoughts on Prophet Song. Now, I am not going to give a list of where I think this fits in. That will be coming up in a video very shortly, in which I will do a Booker rating in terms of the shortlist, along with and who I think is going to win it, because that is a week away and I cannot wait. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.